Hey everybody, I'm Waddy McFly, and this is the gorgeous
Bee. The gorgeous Bee.
The gorgeous Bee. And today we're going to have our own little special video. We're going to talk about How I Met Your Mother. Warning.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert ahead.
Spoilers.
We're going to talk about
Doctor Who, sorry. Spoilers.
We're going to talk about every aspect, everything. We're going to review the series as a whole, and not just the ending. And please leave your comments below of what you thought as well. So let's get started.
I have 3 reasons I like How I Met Your Mother. 1 is Jason Segel. You should be in everything. 2, I love just the comedy aspect of it. I like that I don't know, I feel like a lot of sitcoms sometimes don't have a storyline or even a deep storyline. And this one has one major concept, it's how he met his mother. So it's like the whole, each season turns into this whole story, which is really awesome. It's not like each season is its own story that kind of connects to the next season. It's like one big, huge, long story. And then the 3rd is I like that they can mix, I feel like they do a really nice blend of seriousness with comedy. So there's episodes where even though it's super serious, there's a nice blended comedy into it to still keep that sitcom factor. So it's a great show.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite elements. And another one of my favorites is the inside jokes that you get, and you feel included in the inside jokes because you are a part of them in a sense, because people who haven't watched the show, they don't understand the inside jokes. Yeah,
you become part of the friendship.
Yeah. And then on top of that, my favorite part is the characters. You got Ted, the hopeless romantic. You have Marshall, just the best friend who's awesome. Then you got Lily, who's his girlfriend/wife, depending on where you are in the episode. And then you have Robin, who's just hilarious because she's a tomboy and she's Canadian, and she's what's her name? Sparkles?
Robin Sparkles.
Robin Sparkles.
Yep, good
freaking awesome. And of course, the best character of all time, Barney. So played by Neil Patrick Harris, who is
phenomenal, awesome.
And coming out of Dr. Horrible Single and Vlog, coming into this, it was just perfect and awesome. I do feel like they did have that main storyline, but there was definitely some episodes that were just filler episodes, and it was kind of meh, okay.
I feel like it was that way the last 4 seasons. There was filler episodes. Those first couple seasons, it's each episode is fantastic, and then all of a sudden there was filler episodes where what, there was no point in that episode at all. And they're kind of funny, but it's I don't know, it's just missing
sometimes. Yeah, sometimes they were good.
Factor.
Yeah, definitely. Like I talked about in my Serenity interview, I love characters, and they really the fact that Barney is just an awful person, but we love him so much, is pretty awesome. It's a pretty cool feat to do. I didn't really for a while there, Robin just kind of got repetitive. I understood that, that was who he wanted and that's where he was going for, but I was just kind of it's over. Let's give over it. And then finally in the last season, we thought
we were over it.
Yeah. They have an entire episode about him getting over her, and then that doesn't end up happening.
No, I like her character. I hate her character in the story. Her as that tomboy, girly character, I don't know, she's really fantastic as that, but when it comes to her and Ted's relationship, I just want to punch her in the face.
Lily and Marshall's relationship is superb.
Yes.
I love it.
I like that they make them very real, which was really awesome with the show. I feel although TV usually makes things seem oh, they may have jobs, but they can be at the bar all day, and they have kids, but you never see them, and they're off doing their own thing. Their relationship, Marshall and Lily, very real. When they get in fights, it's a fight, and you can see the nitty gritty of everything. So that's really
very
nice.
Real things.
Yeah.
For sure. My favorite episode when it comes to How I Met Your Mother is actually one that's not necessarily the most hysterical one. It's the episode when Jason Segel or Marshall finds out that his dad died. That's kind of
that's your favorite episode.
I know. It's kind of it's just there's this moment of being super hilarious, and then all of a sudden, wham, they hit you just with this
really sad
that Marshall's
moment.
Dad died, and then I don't know, it just was great. And in that scene, actually, Marshall had no idea, or Jason Segel had no idea what she was going to say. And that was the first take too, was when
I
Lily
didn't know
comes up
that.
and says, yeah.
Okay, well
So
that
it's pretty
changes
sweet.
everything.
Yeah.
I knew the background behind it. So I don't think I have a favorite episode, but I have like my favorite like moments throughout all of the episode is the simultaneous high fives. Wow, I almost said hand clapping. I don't know why that came up instead of high fives, but the simultaneously high fives. And I think my favorite is when Lily and Marshall are trying to have kids and they high five after they count how many times they've had unprotected sex.
Yeah.
That like cracks me up every time. I don't even know the number, but they're just like, we've had unprotected sex 47 times, and they just like high five. It's so funny.
That's awesome.
I love those.
For those watching, hopefully, we said spoilers, so be careful.
Spoilers part.
So the very last season all takes place over one weekend. It's the famous wedding of Barney Stinson and Robin,
Shabotsky.
and they're gonna get married. And that's the season before just ended. We just saw the mother, the big reveal of who the mother is, and who was a no-name actor and not even really in part of the series until then. And we have an entire season basically of right before the wedding. And then not only that, we have at least 10 episodes, I even think that's the right number,
Yeah.
of Marshall not even showing up to the wedding, just sitting in the car with what's-her-face
No one even cares. It's
for
stupid.
10 episodes. This entire season builds up on this wedding. We see the wedding happen. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, they get married. Barney realizes how much he loves her, same with Robin, realizes how much he loves Barney. And then the very next episode, it gets thrown away. Like, right away. And so, that was one of my biggest pet peeves, is we spent an entire season building up to this wedding, when the next episode, it gets taken away and they decide to get divorced.
Basically.
It's like, holy crap.
The last season was pointless, and they could have had the wedding within like the first 5 episodes, and then had that last episode, which was a course over like 10 years. Those last like 10, 12 episodes, and it would have made a much better season, because you get attached to certain characters and like where they're at this standpoint, and then they just killed everything that last episode. Like,
literally.
there was no build up. It was like, let's do this, and we'll kill the marriage, because why should they stay married after we've had a whole season of them falling in love? And even not only that whole season to their wedding, but the season before that where they dated, and then all of a sudden Barney realizes he wants to marry her, and then they get engaged, and there's this whole like ending of that season where they're engaged, and it's just like...
She's upset.
Yeah, I was a little irritated about it, but whatever.
But I mean, the worst part of all, I think, even with that, is it's called How I Met Your Mother. And this is how the ending felt to me. Barney and Robin get divorced. Barney gets a kid because he sleeps with people again. The mom dies.
Basically.
And then they decide, oh, well, kids, after 6 years, who cares about your mom? I'm gonna go after Robin. And it's like...
Basically, yeah, that was the whole last episode in a nutshell.
And honestly, it could have worked. Like,
It could have
a lot. I thought about it a lot. And for those of you who don't know, they filmed the ending at the very beginning of the series. And so they took this very brave step, and no one's really done it before, and it was pretty freaking awesome. But that last season was just... Right, it was just pointless and built up to something that was worthless in the end. I think it would have been awesome if they had the first like 3 episodes of the wedding, and then maybe after that they do like a year, and then another year, another episode, another year, another episode. That way we could see more development, spend some time with the mom, and show a couple episodes of her getting sick, and then feeling for her when she dies, because we fell in love with her in that last season, like,
yeah,
even with that. But then they just kind of like brushed her aside, it felt like.
Basically. I feel like the last episode that you don't even see her that often throughout it either.
No.
Like, she kind of is just like, it's like they were trying to tie up loose ends, and then they're like, oh, and by the way, the mom dies, and then they went on to Robin. Yeah. So it was just like, they muscled everything together. And everyone's side story, so like, Marshall and Lily was fantastic. Barney's whole story, that last episode.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a fantastic ending to him.
Apart from
the divorce, but
that
him
was the
having
only
his
saving grace, really.
Well, and I think if they didn't have that, it would have made the episode even worse than what it was. And then all of a sudden, Ted and Robin, guess what? They're gonna end up together now that they're old and have nothing better to do.
Yeah. I have heard a lot of people say that they regret watching the entire season and they never would have started the whole all of How I Met Your Mother knew that ended. I think that's wrong. It had a good enough memory and it had a good enough story, obviously, to make it popular. It's sad when endings don't play out how they do, but what can you do? We're not in charge of them. So we just remember all the good parts and just enjoy it. That's my thought.
I kind of regret watching it. After the 4th season, I wish I would have stopped. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I waited. I would go, instead of doing homework, I'd sit in the library and watch it every Monday after it was on, and I was just like, I feel like I've wasted so much time just to get this awful mousetrap ending.
I feel like one season doesn't account for 8 other great ones.
See, and I feel like the last 3 seasons it just slowly went downhill, and I feel like that ending was perfect for the 3 awful seasons it was. So.
Well, see, we all agreed until that one moment. So let us know what you guys think. Comment below, and yeah, should have had a different ending, or was it good, or what are your thoughts? So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next time.